Hello, Algebra 2B, and welcome to a new unit here, Unit 8. This one's going to deal with rational expressions, and what those are just expressions with variables in the numerator and denominator. Some things like binomials, trinomials, and so forth. They're going to be scary at first, but we'll get you through. For 1 and 2, pretty simple. We're just going to be simplifying fractions. 18 and 48, you can reduce those. Just make sure you keep them fractions. 18 over 48, enter. I believe that's just 3/8. So negative 3/8. And remember with variables that you subtract the powers. So 5 minus 1 is n to the 4th, and that is your simplified fraction there. Negative 3, n to the 4th over 8. Something like number 2, so 15 and 15, they're just going to simplify to 1. Now, just remember, 2 minus 4 means we have an n squared in the denominator. So 1 over n squared is how you simplify that one. So that should be mainly review from those there. The newer stuff are problems 3 and so forth. So this time, k minus 5 over 10k minus 50. You cannot... Okay, do not just cancel out the 5 and the 50 and the k's and say, oh, this is just a good old 1 over 10 minus, I don't even know. Okay, that's just a mess. You can't do that. What you do need to do is factor first. Factor first. What do? You factor first. So factor the denominator by removing a GCF. So it's k minus 5 all over 10 and 50, each share a 10, and we have k minus 5. Okay, now, then we can cancel. Then cancel. Or cross out. And what we can do is take these entire bits and cross them out. So only if it's being shared by the numerator and denominator can you cancel them both out. So k minus 5 and the k minus 5s, those cancel and they leave us with really a 1 out front, and your answer is 1 over 10. So just be careful, okay? You can't just cancel things when subtraction or addition is in between. They have to be sharing it as an entire factor. Only factors can cancel. Factors are with multiplication, okay? So let's just look at another example. So 4. Here's an example where, again, so don't just say, oh, 7 and 4 is 2. No, don't do that. Skull, crossbones, okay? Instead, factor first. So factor. Okay? Factor the denominator. So we have an m plus 7 in the numerator. Denominator are going to be m plus 2 and m plus 7. Okay, so the factors won't be anything too challenging. Now, since both of these are being shared, they can cancel. That's going to leave you with 1 over m plus 2. Okay, there's typically always a placeholder of 1 out front there. So key idea is to factor and then cancel things out. For 5 and 6, we can factor the numerator and denominator. Double factoring fun. So r minus 6 and r minus 1 are the factors that add to negative 7. This one, let's just rearrange it. So it's going to be negative r squared minus 9r plus 10. And I'm going to write that up here. If this is a negative, if the r squared is negative, take out a factor of negative 1. Okay, what that will do then is make it r squared plus 9r minus 10. And we're still not finished with factoring that entire thing yet. So it's going to be negative 1 r plus 10 and r minus 1. That is the entire thing factored properly. Okay? So just rewriting r minus 6, r minus 1, all over negative r plus 10 and r minus 1. Here is where the r minus 1s cancel. Boop, boop. And that will leave you with the answer of r minus 6 over negative r plus 10. You could redistribute the negative if you wanted, negative r minus 10, and get an answer there. So little tricks: remove the negative if it's a negative r squared, and then cancel things out. Okay, we have a numerator and denominator. Again, the r's can't cancel. They're separated by subtraction. So that is your final answer. Okay, 6, factor the numerator, factor the denominator, GCF, so greatest common factors. 15 leaves you with x plus 2. Denominator, in this case, a 5 is going to leave us with 7x minus 3. What reduces here are the 15 in the 5. So that's just going to be 3x plus 2 all over 7x minus 3. And you can leave it as that. If you want to redistribute the 3, that's optional. 3x plus 6 all over 7x minus 3. So that's an option to redistribute. Greatest common factor, and then cancel everything out. Let's see, these last ones, they're a doozy, but just remember all of your factoring techniques. That's why it's one of the last lessons units. It involves everything. So first, greatest common factor amongst the numerator. So we just need to factor everything. 2, that leaves you with x squared minus 15x plus 50. The denominator, I'm going to factor that ahead of time here. 90, adding to negative 1, so x minus 10 and x plus 9. Okay, keep factoring. So numerator is 2. Factors of 50 that add to negative 15. Let's see here, 10 and 5. Yes. So x minus 5 and x minus 10. And then x minus 10 in the denominator and an x plus 9. Now I know they're not lined up exactly, but since it's all multiplication, we can cancel out factors. So the minus 10s cancel out. And that leaves us with 2x minus 5 all over x plus 9. If you want to leave it like that, you can. You did enough hard work already. And really, it's just you could distribute the 2. So factor, 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 cancel out. The last one. Oh my gosh. When in doubt, GCF out. Take out the greatest common factor. This time, everything shares an x. And they all share a factor of 7. So 7x, let's take that out in the numerator. That's going to leave us with 5x squared plus 9x minus 2. Denominator, so they all share is 91 divisible by 7. It is. Didn't know that. What about 126? Check that out. So we can also remove a 7x. I'll make it red again. Leaving us with 2x squared plus 13x plus 18. Okay, the nice thing about here is these 7x's will cancel. Now we still have more factoring to do in the numerator. 5x squared plus 9x minus 2. You need to remember how to factor those. So 5x squared plus 9x minus 2. Factors of negative 2 are negative 2 and positive 1, positive 2 and negative 1. Factors of 5 are just 5x and x. The key is to, again, get to positive 9. So if I take 5x times 2, that's 10x. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Those add to positive 9. Writing those as factors means we have 5x. It is going to positive 2. We have x going to negative 1. So remember those factoring skills. It's been a while, but you'll need to do those. So that was the numerator. The denominator, factoring it out, a little bit more work. We have 2x and x. Factors of 18 are, let's see, 9 and 2. Everything's going to be positive at least. And also 3 and 6. And you could also do 1 and 18. Goal is to get to 13. Okay, I think I see it. 2 times 4, or 2 times 2 is 4x. And this is just 9x. 9 and 4 is 13. Denominator is then 2x and x. 2x is going to the positive 2, and x is going to the 9 here. In this particular case, so let's see what can cancel. The x plus 2's can cancel. Boop, boop. And that leaves us, for all that hard work, with 5x minus 1 all over 2x plus 9. That is a bit of a doozy of a problem. All of your skills up to this point practically have been involved with that one. Great job. Try out the practice, and don't sweat it if you're struggling a little bit. That's a challenging problem there. So great job, guys.